Get ready. Get set. It's the Wine Ladies with Georgia and Suzanne.
Hi, everyone. It's us, the Wine Ladies.
I'm Georgia.
And I'm Suzanne, and welcome everyone to the show. We hope you guys all had a fantastic week filled with discoveries all about wine, and it was a really fun time.
Hey, absolutely. You know, and it's getting easier these days to discover more and more different wines with all the different varietals that are being grown in the very different regions of the world. You know, it's not only about France and Spain anymore. What about Argentina, England even?
And here's another great question. How does one learn about the wines that are really out there? Wine is often thought of as being complicated and intimidating, unapproachable. Well, we know someone that's got the answer to that.
We do. In fact, our guest this morning has been referred to as an internet phenomenon.
Indeed he has, and with good reason. We are very pleased to welcome to our show wine expert, founder of Wine Library TV, author of Crush It, Why Now is the Time to Cash In on Your Passion. Gary Vaynerchuk joins us in studio right here, right beside me. Good morning and welcome to the show, Gary.
Ladies, you look phenomenal. I'm thrilled to be here. Let's talk some vino.
You know what? We were so excited when we heard that you were coming to Toronto, to our fair city. We have been fans of yours for years, and wow, here you are sitting right beside us.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I'm so pumped to be here. I'm going to be back here in a couple weeks. As you guys know, I am the biggest diehard New York Jets fan of all time.
Yes.
I have not missed a play in 25 years. And I'm going to be in Toronto to watch the Bills and Jets play. So I'll be back in a couple weeks, and I'm excited because right now this book tour over the next couple days is intense, but I'll be able to really enjoy the city in a couple weeks.
That's awesome. Now, speaking of the Jets, how is it going for your eventual purchase of the Jets? I think that's one of the things you want to do down the road.
That's the only thing professionally I'm really looking to accomplish, and so it's a big goal. You know, by the time I'm ready, it's going to be a couple $2 billion. It's going well. You know, signing a 7-figure book deal puts a couple of pennies in the piggy bank.
Very nice.
But I've got a long way to go. But what is exciting and what I talk about in Crush It and what I've done with my brand really makes me optimistic because the world is changing.
Yes.
I know the people who are listening now, they didn't know what Twitter or Facebook or Ustream or iPhones were 5 years ago.
Yes.
And 5 years is no time in business.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, what's happened is when I've heard that, you know, you do calls normally, that's the game, right? The interaction is the game. And what tools like Facebook and Twitter allow us to do is speak directly to consumer. You know, I have 850,000 followers on Twitter, which
Holy jumping.
which is a real number.
I think we're
That
one.
is.
We're one.
I appreciate it. How do you keep up with that many people? It's hard, but the nice thing is that not all of them speak in the same moment. They're all over the world, different time zones, and I think what's imperative is effort. I think for you guys and anybody else, the next step is getting in the trenches, rolling up those pretty sleeves and getting your hands dirty because answering emails
Yes.
and answering tweets and commenting on people's comments on your wall on Facebook is the game. You know, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of content. The foundation of that and why I'm here on the show and where I came from was I sat down and did a 30-minute wine show on the internet, winelibrarytv.com, every day. And by the way, I did it for 18 months, 5 days a week, until anybody really cared. It took a long time.
Wow.
Well, when did we
That's a long
discover
time,
Gary?
yeah.
Is it about maybe 3 years ago?
I think
or
so,
3,
yeah.
4?
It was
Hey,
about that,
who's
yeah.
this guy?
No, I wanted to say at the beginning, hi, I'm Gary Vaynerchuk.
Oh, okay.
I love the way you do that.
Vaynerchuk.
Well, listen, when you've got a last name like Vaynerchuk, you've got to do something creative. I mean, listen, this was I started Wine Library TV on February 20th, 2006. I mean, you think
it's
people...
not that long ago.
It's not, but it is, right? I mean, this was, you know, people are still now just starting to watch, you know, video online. I mean,
Yes.
you think people think Twitter's silly and stupid now? You should have seen when I was using it in 2007, in January of 07, people were like, "Oof." I mean, it was so out there. And so what I recognize is I'm not romanced by the tools. It's not about Facebook or Twitter. It's about having a real connection with people, having that ability, and most importantly, there's no gatekeepers anymore. There's no editor at the Globe and Mail who's going to decide if you're good enough of a writer to talk to the world. There's no producer at CBC anymore who's going to make a decision that if you're pretty enough or charismatic enough or to be on camera.
Yeah.
That is life-changing.
Well, I know
That
we
is,
just
yeah.
completed a series of our own, the Wine Ladies Talking Wine with the Stars, where we did 35 interviews during the Toronto International Film Festival.
Amazing.
We
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
located at the Windsor Arms, which is ground zero for the Toronto International Film Festival, and we talked wine with the producers and the directors, and we didn't have media accreditation for the film festival, but we did our own thing. No one stopped us, and it was a huge, huge success. And we're going to continue with
hustled.
that. We
Yes,
hustled,
yeah,
baby.
we
That's
did,
what
yeah.
we do.
I love it.
Now, the beginning, you say when you start off, you have to have a passion. So, and you talked about that in your book, and the question came up to my mind is, what if someone doesn't have a passion, or they think they have a passion that there's no way is going to translate into a business?
Yeah, so my friend Zach in New York City has a site called midtownlunch.com. He covers 6 blocks in Manhattan, and he reviews street food, gyros, and tacos.
Oh, those,
street
I
food.
love that food.
Wow.
You can't get more niche
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
that, right?
Right.
There you go.
He makes $70,000 a year in advertising because we're all in the eyeballs
Wow.
business. So let's
Yes.
really pay attention to this for a minute. Let's break it down. We're all in the eyeballs or ears business, right?
Right.
Communicating. People, need to consume our stuff. Every niche has more followers than people think.
Okay.
It's not 7 people. I mean, you got to go so hyper local for it to be 7 people. So I think if you're into the, Star Wars, you could be into Star Wars just Return of the Jedi, and people are into that. You could be into just gardening tomatoes, not just gardening. It could be anything. The internet is so big.
Yes.
The world is so big.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
think about how big Toronto is as a city, and then put that in the scope of the universe.
Yeah.
Peanut.
Yeah. Where is it? Where is it?
Exactly.
Little cashew.
Yeah, that's
So,
very true.
so the fact of the matter is, don't worry, don't be discouraged. Have patience, and if you love it, you can pump out good content around it. Those old Chinese sayings, those guys were geniuses. Do what you love, and you'll never work a day in your life. That stuff is real. This is the first time in society that it's true. Meaning, this is the first time that anybody, all of us, can go out, produce, distribute, and now because of word of mouth marketing tools, market our content for the cost of 0.
Yeah.
That's
Well, you know what? We
game-changing.
should talk a little bit
Transforming.
about the regular broadcast media as well, how that is incorporated into social media when we get back. I'd like to hear your viewpoint on that. We'll be right back in just a moment. Don't go away. This is an awesome show. We got Gary here with us. We'll be right back.